I'm out on the Trent today and I'm going to be targeting summer chub. The Trent has always been one of my favourite places for catching chub in the summer, but we're not going to look at traditional tactics. We are actually going to turn float fishing on its head and hopefully catch some really big Trent chub. I don't really have too much time to go fishing, so this works for me perfectly for short sessions. Sometimes I'd come down just for 2 hours, and in 2 hours I can cover quite a lot of water, starting at one end and literally walking my way through each peg and extracting as many fish possible. There's something quite special about being in the water, waist deep. You end up watching absolutely everything. You see so many different species, and there's something quite special about wading around in the river. And for me, the start of the season every year, I try my hardest to go out wading for the first start of the season. I know the fishing normally tends to be really good at the first start of the season because people don't tend to, obviously people ain't been out for a while, and the chub fishing is absolutely fantastic just after they've spawned. They're really hungry at the start of the season, so for me, this tactic is a deadly one and I just keep using it and coming back. So for me, it's my go-to method just to get out, get a bend in my rod when I haven't got much time. Right, I'm about to make my first cast, and as you notice, the flow is running that way, and I'm going to cast into the flow and get the flow come towards me, so the bait is trundling a little bit more natural than it would if you do it in traditional tactics. A better one, and it's going to take me round the back again as well. One reason you have to put quite a lot of pressure on these chub to get them out. Where barbless hooks come in handy. You just slip the hook out and you can put it back quick as that. So if I can get back in that area, that's it, right under the bush. The closer you get to the bush, the quicker you get your bites. But this small fish there, it's making it very hard to distinguish the difference between the bigger ones and the smaller ones. And then this time we've hooked one again. It looks like a nice fish. This is what it's all about. Just gradually try and entice them away from the far bank because they do like to go into the snags. It's a similar sized fish to the last one, I think. Just take your time, clutch is set nicely. Just enjoy it. It's what summer fishing's all about for me. Perfect. I've had quite a few small ones now, but I have finally managed one a little bit better. I would say about 1.5 pounds, but it's a cracking fish nonetheless. When it comes to this style of fishing, you need quite oxygenated water. The bottom of weir pools, near weirs, and quite shallow as well. So what you're looking for as well is overhanging trees, undercut banks. Obviously you can't wade if it's too deep, so you've got to try and put safety first. Obviously you go out, test to make sure it's safe to cross the river before you get in. But for me, these sort of stretches that are very oxygenated with fast flow, they're the perfect place for early season chub. This is where they come to spawn, and once they've spawned they tend to move out into the main river, and obviously as they move out into the main river we change our tactics and catch them a different way. Right, we've had a few fish from this area and we've had a couple probably close to £2, but I'm after the bigger chub, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to move now into another area that I know, just upriver a touch, and then slowly, gradually work that swim. Hopefully we'll catch something a bit bigger. Right, we've moved swims now, and we've got quite a lot of cover here where the chub can hide. We've got the far bank over the other side, we've got some on the inside, and we've even got a falling tree in front of us. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try on the far side and then work my way across for hopefully to try and get some fish. And just like that, it's a good fish. It's hard to say what it's going to be because it's at the minute it's just taking me upriver. You can see the clutch is set nicely. It's probably going to get in the flow and go behind me, and it is. It's very difficult to stop them with this flow, so you just have to go with it, try and get the fish out the flow. Gradually tighten your clutch. And he's nearly under my feet. And there he is. Much better fish. As you can see, that's a corker of a fish. Really clean. Don't look like this one's been caught before. It's a stunner, but hopefully we'll try and catch his big brother. I'm going to put it back now. See if we can catch another one. When it comes to tackle, I tend to use a 10-foot float rod. And for this, what I definitely would say is don't go out and spend an absolute fortune on tackle for this sort of fishing, because you're clambering up and down banks, you're catching your tips on branches, you're climbing in and out pegs all the time. So you need something that doesn't break the bank and you can rely on as well. And the 10-foot Ninja is the one that I rely on. And you couple that up with a 4,000 size reel, a 6-pound main line. When it comes to tackle, I tend to use a shallow pole float. This is ideal, and it keeps the bait buoyant and it lifts it up off the bottom away from snags, and it's a perfect visual aid for me. From that, I tend to use a size 14 swivel, and attached to this swivel I tend to use a 5-pound hook link with 2 little tiny shots just to help get the bait on the deck. From the 5-pound hook link I go down to a size 10 hook with a decent sized bait band. I don't like to have the hook covered over. For me, I always use a bait band, so I've got the hook fully exposed when I'm using very big baits like mussels, cockles and things like that. For a fish that is like a snail or a slug falling out of a tree, and when you're casting it in, it acts naturally in the water, and because of the way I'm fishing, the bait actually trundles across the bottom and looks completely natural to the chub. So their instinct is to get it before it goes past, so they just snatch in at these natural baits. Like I say, the day started slow, but then it started getting better. We got some bigger fish, around 2 pound, then we had a couple of 3-pounders, and then to finish the day off absolutely perfect, we got what was after, and that was a 4-pound plus Trent chub. This one's definitely the biggest one of today so far. I would say it's a good 4 pound and a pristine Trent chub, and that's exactly what we came for. And in a short space of time, what more can you ask for? That's absolutely stunning. I'm over the moon with that one. Short sessions after work or in the morning before work, for me this is just my go-to method when trying to catch big Trent chub.